No subscriptions, no notifications, no distractions, and no doom scrolling. The iPod was and still is one of my favorite single function devices. You load music onto it, you pick a track to listen to, and you get what is, in my opinion, one of the best versions of said track. But why am I still using an iPod in 2025? I mean, this particular iPod is 20 years old, and obviously in those 20 years, this thing has been far surpassed, right? Well, yes, but no. I'm sure many people my age will say the same thing about iPods. It was their first Apple product, and it was my first Apple product. And the experience I had with iPods made a big impact on my childhood. I remember feeling so cool when I clipped an iPod shuffle to my shirt at school, and watching Red vs. Blue on my mom's iPod video on long road trips to the beach was amazing. And I still remember to this day the first time I was able to hear detail in songs that I had never heard before when I listened to the same songs on my old CD player. But as the years went on, the iPod was replaced by the iPhone, music apps that let you buy music on the go, and later services that just let you stream those songs without needing to buy each individual song. But those phones came with other things: a constant connection to the world around you, X, YouTube, messages, news apps, and the list goes on and on. Essentially, once smartphones took over in popularity, there was no more iPod simplicity. The noises that our devices make now cause anxiety and distraction, and not calmness and joy. But the iPod is exactly how it was 20 years ago. The only noise it makes is music, and the occasional hard drive sound. Now, for any tech spec enthusiasts out there, this is a 5th generation iPod with a 30 gigabyte hard drive and a 2.5 inch 320 by 240 LCD display. And in my opinion, that's really all that matters here. The interface here is extremely simple. I do prefer the later interface a little bit more, mostly because it has cover flow, but I mean, if the job gets done, who cares? You navigate through the interface with the iconic click wheel, and you connect a pair of headphones with a wire, and you charge it with a 30-pin connector. It is literally that simple. I'm sure I could find things like the CPU specs and the RAM numbers and the battery capacity, but frankly, I don't care. In a world where every smartphone company is just fighting to make their little pocket computers 5 to 10% faster each year while packing more and more cameras on them, the iPod stands as an example of what devices can be when people who design them have a very clear vision for them. For Steve Jobs and Johnny Ive, that vision was of the best portable music player possible. And not only did that show 20 years ago, when in 1 year Apple sold 39 million of these, but it still shows to this day. Now, just to be clear, when I'm out in public, I do still use my phone to listen to music, just because not having a cord and having my music pause when I take my headphones out, that's just a convenience that I'm not going to give up when I need to be aware of what's going on around me. But when I sit down to write a script, or I'm at the gym, or I'm working, or really anything else where I can just plug in and lock in on what I'm doing, I am using my iPod, period. And I know I'm not breaking any new ground by saying this, but the difference between wired and wireless audio is absolutely noticeable. The headphones I have that I would consider fancy are my AirPod Maxes, and when I use them wirelessly, I feel like I'm only really getting 60 to 70% of the total listening experience, but when I'm wired in, oh my god, Sleep Token and the Kagero Project have never sounded so good coming through those headphones. And the experience is even better when I plug in something like my Yamaha Monitor headphones that I use for professional audio and video work. It is absolutely amazing. I know that's not going to come as a surprise to anybody who knows anything about audio, but think about it. If somebody like me, a former session drummer, can be made to forget how good wired quality can be for the sake of convenient wireless headphones, it can definitely happen to the average consumer who doesn't have a background in music and tech. And that's kind of the story here, and also why I went back to using an iPod instead of my iPhone for most music listening. See, over the years, we've been drip-fed features and devices that have become more and more multifunctional and convenient. But those conveniences have come with compromises and consequences, mainly overstimulation and an overconnection to the world around us. Now, I don't think being connected in certain ways is a bad thing. I mean, hell, I wouldn't have connected with my wife if it weren't for modern technology. But these newer devices have no limit to how they can be connected and how many things they can connect you to. The iPod, on the other hand, is an extremely limited device, in a good way. If you want something that isn't downloaded music or videos straight from a wire to your headphones, this thing doesn't even know it exists. And that's okay, because in a world where every news network grabs your attention with headlines that induce fear and stress for the sake of a cheap click, maybe it's better to have a device where the only connection is between you and your music. Either way, guys, that's been it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you all think in the comments down below. Do you all remember the iPods fondly? Do you still use them? Would you go back and use them with everything I've said about all the crap with modern devices? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm actually genuinely curious. And if you do like this video, definitely make sure to leave it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, definitely make sure to subscribe so you don't miss stuff like this. I am really enjoying going back and messing with some older devices I haven't touched in a while and seeing how they are in 2025. And this one was one that I definitely needed. So either way, that's been it. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Make sure to be there and have a good one.